Hello and welcome back to MSc. It's me, Charlotte, again, and I'm joined with Emily and Laura, who've been doing their A Levels, and they're in year 13. So how have your exams been going so far, guys?
Good, pretty good, yeah.
That's good. What have you had so far?
Okay, so Monday I had my paper 1 for psychology, which went decently. And today I actually had my first paper 1 for geography.
Ooh.
I've had the exact same. Paper 1 for psychology on Monday and paper 1 for geography today.
That's cool. Yeah, I do psychology A level as well, so yeah, that's awesome. So Emily, you're doing biology, psychology and geography.
Yeah.
And Laura, you're doing psychology, maths and geography.
Yep.
Yeah, that's cool. So everyone get your comments in and we obviously can talk about A-levels. Do you regret any of your A-levels, guys, or are you happy with yours?
I kind of do regret, ironically, I do regret geography to a small extent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty happy with mine.
That's good. I think I'm slightly regretting RS, but I don't think I could have done anything else. It's a very hard A-level.
Mm-hmm. So that's also why I decided to do geography, because I got an A at GCSE and I was like, it's something I'm good at, and I didn't know what else to pick for A-levels, which isn't a good thing to do when you're picking your A-levels.
Yeah.
But I learned to love the subject, so yeah.
That's good. Jazz Grant says, what's psychology like? Yeah, we all do psychology.
Yeah, so who wants to go first?
Yeah, you guys go first.
Alright then. I love studying psychology. Honestly, I've been wanting to do it since like year 9. And I just love learning about, I think it's psychopathology, so it's things like mental illness and like OCD and depression, and how the environment as well as genetics can interact together and create these mental illnesses as a consequence. So it's just really fascinating to me. And since I want to be a clinical psychologist, hopefully, fingers crossed, one day, it's proven pretty interesting.
Yeah, Laura, what were you going to say?
I was going to say, I really like psychology too, and like the content's really interesting. And I like how in psychology there's a structure to your answers. Because in subjects, like there's not a particular structure sometimes, so it can be quite hard to plan your essays. Whereas in psychology, you can clearly plan them. However, I'm not going to lie and say it's an easy A-level, because there's a lot of content.
Yeah. We've just started doing a lot of research methods at the moment, so I definitely find that's the least interesting bit for me personally. But yeah, I want to do social work in the future, so I find it very, very interesting. And like you said, I find psychopathology is such a great topic. I think I'd definitely recommend you guys do it if you're interested. Did you guys have the option to do it at GCSE? Because at my school we couldn't do it at GCSE.
No, it wasn't an option for me, no.
Yeah, no, me neither.
Yeah, and you had to get like specific requirements. So I remember when I was sitting my maths exam, I was like praying that I got a 6 at the end, because I needed that to be able to do psychology at A-level.
Yeah.
Because, like you see in research methods, you do need some math skills. So.
Yeah. Freddie says, what's geography like? Would you recommend? So these two both do geography, so I'll hand over to them.
You can start. I start, okay. If you really love geography and you have a passion for it, do it. But if you're going to go into it half-heartedly, I would not recommend it. There's a lot to learn, but like I said previously, I did sort of regret it at the beginning, but towards the end, I'm really proud of the subject, but that I actually chose it because it incorporates things like politics, sociology, and even a bit of biology sometimes. And it's just really fascinating, like how it all interlinks, and it's just a pretty great A-level to do, honestly.
I love geography, it's my favourite, so I definitely recommend it. But my advice is find out what topics your sixth form is going to do, because every sixth form does different topics.
Yeah.
It's wide. So if you want to take particular topics in geography, make sure your sixth form is going to do those topics.
Yeah.
Because I know for a fact some students, and in my class, did glaciers at GCSE, and we don't do that at A level. So just find out what they're doing before you take it.
Yeah, definitely. So Emily does Edexcel geography and Laura does Educast. So if you're doing A-level geography for either of those specifications, do let us know if you've got any questions. The review artist says, is there a big difference in GCSEs compared to A-levels? I definitely think so, because you get 3 periods, so you definitely have to be quite motivated to use them. I think you get a lot more freedom in sixth form, but I think definitely there's less subjects, so there's less stress in that respect, but there's your subjects are a lot more content based. So for RS at GCSE it was more sort of like, here's a topic, talk about the views on this, whereas it's very much you have to link like different ethical theories, so it's I think each subject is definitely a step up. And I was told it was always going to be quite like a lot harder at A-levels, but it definitely is. What do you guys think?
I concur that. I believe A-levels is probably a lot harder than GCSE. And you think, oh, it's only 3 subjects, it will be fine, it's less stress, the workload shouldn't be that bad. You're wrong.
Yeah.
And I never used to believe the A-level students when they tell me like, oh, it's like 3 subjects, but you have to like take it seriously, and I'm like, it's just 3, I'll be fine. No. It takes the time to adjust things, and you also have to learn to like pace yourself. And because you get all those study periods, you're like, oh, I can be a little bit chill during this time. But honestly, you really do have to get like buckle down and get the work done.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, to just like add on to what both of you said, you have to be motivated to do your A-levels, because if you like fall behind, you're never going to catch up, because the content moves so quickly, because there's so much of it to get through. So just make sure you stay on top of your content.
Yeah, definitely. Well, Dan says should have chosen media studies for A-level. I'd be quite interested to know. I think that would be the subject I would have picked if I wouldn't have done RS, so I'm quite interested to know how that is done. Maisie says, I'm worried for maths, I want a 4 or 5, how do I pick up marks? So I'm guessing this is GCSE. I'd definitely say what would you guys say for maths?
I'm sure you're working all the time. Even if you don't know if it's right, you get method marks.
Yeah.
So your answer can be completely wrong, but if your method's right, you're going to get the majority of the marks anyway. So just make sure to put your method down.
Yeah. I'd say don't leave the exam. Make sure you always check once you're done.
I'd probably have to say I did this at GCSE. I made sure to answer every question, even though I didn't understand it. I made sure to at least write some little kind of working out.
Yeah.
Even was it I didn't get it at all, but at least there was something for the examiner to see, and that he tried. And maybe it would be 1 mark, and 1 mark always makes a difference. And if it makes you feel any better, at the start of year 11, I actually was predicted a 4 for maths. But I studied really hard. I looked at revision guides. I even went on this little website called Maths Watch, and I did some past paper questions, and I managed to get a 6 at the end. So just never lose hope, and just strive forward.
Yeah, no, exactly. The same thing happened with me. I was predicted an E, and I actually got a 7. So yeah, definitely. And I also recommend if you're looking for any good maths help websites, I recommend Hegarty Maths, because I used that and that was really, really helpful. What would you recommend to do during the summer of year 11? What did you guys do?
I just made sure to go outside, enjoy life, go out with friends. You know, because I was thinking it's A Levels, and I thought I'd like do some reading and stuff. And I did do a tiny bit of reading for psychology, just so I was like in that mental state. But I think after GCSEs, you deserve a bit of a treat, and you deserve to go out and just have, you know, a bit of fun.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
You go.
Oh no, you go first.
I was going to say, well, if you know what subjects you're going to take at A level, make sure to just like go through them every so often in the holidays, so you just don't forget the content. Because when I started A level maths, I failed my first test completely, and it was on GCSE stuff because I hadn't gone over it in the 6 weeks or whatever. So just not like study every day like you have been for your GCSE.
Yeah.
But just go over it maybe like once every 2 weeks or something. Just do a few questions.
I definitely recommend over summer like picking up a new hobby or something. Like I've said before in videos before, I picked up a hobby, and I did my family tree, which I found very helpful. I found that was really interesting. So I definitely recommend picking up a hobby or something like that. Maisie says, is psychology lots of maths? Would like to do it, but I'm not good at maths.
It's pretty basic math. Like there was, I think for paper one there was a ratio question, and that was quite simple if I'm being honest. It's like really basic GCSE math, so it isn't too hard. Personally, I don't know, but there are some difficulties. Like you do have to learn about like statistical testing, but you're not like told to calculate it. You just need to know if you need to use it for a particular experiment or something. But yeah, you just have to like revise it, and it should honestly be fine. And for like psychology, I think it's just really worth it. You know, it's just a small section of it.
Yeah, it's basically like one question on your exam, and that's it. So it's like 4 marks at the most.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I was not bottom set, but I was set 3 out of 4 for maths, and so I was very scared that I'd find it a lot of maths. But we've already done. I'm year 12, and these guys are year 13, so I'm nearly at the end of year 12. So we've already done all of the research methods and the statistics that we're actually going to need, and our teacher said that this is all you're going to need at university level as well. So I found it easy, and I'm not very great at maths. It's basically like Emily and Laura both said, it's like statistical tests, relationships, correlations, like data. It's I think you'll find it fine. Raheem says, I'm worried about English tomorrow. Can you guys remember doing English? Have you got any tips?
Yes, definitely. Oh my gosh. It depends on what paper you're doing. For literature, I made sure to just use a lot of vocabulary, and even if you're not too confident in your quote, just make sure to just try and weave it in a way. The thing about English is you can really get away with anything. Like honestly, if it says that the curtains are red, you could just say the colour red represents lust or something, and you can just make it work for you. For language, I wasn't as good at. I managed to get a 6 compared to literature, in which I got 7. But for language, just make sure to read the questions, and even in like an exam state, you may be nervous, but personally what I do is I just try and calm down. I spend the last 5 minutes with friends to get myself in like a kind of happy zone, so just walk into the exam and I'm just, you know, in a good mental state.
Yeah, definitely.
I think it's the poetry paper tomorrow, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, that's right.
So you don't have to learn like all the poems in full. Just remember like a few key quotes from each poem. Like don't harbour yourself with 15 poems to learn, especially if you're not feeling confident tonight and you try and learn all 15 tonight, because it's just not going to stick. Just make sure you've got a few quotes that you can analyse.
Yeah, definitely. I definitely agree with that. Yeah, there's a lot of people asking about tips for poetry and tips for like learning quotes and stuff. So I definitely say definitely like what I found really useful. I don't know if you guys did this, but I recorded myself saying the key quotes that I wanted to learn, and then I'd play it back like on my way to school or like when I was walking anywhere, and I found that was very useful. What did you guys do?
Do you want to go first?
To be honest, I can't really remember. I did do like flashcards with just like key quotes and stuff on, and I like read them before I went to sleep and stuff. Just made sure that I like remembered them and analysed them before I went into my exam. Not directly before, but like I had some idea for each one. Yeah. So that was really it.
Yeah, I made sure to look for all my poems in general, and then I'd pick like at least 3 quotes from like each one, and I made sure that these were the ones I was really confident in and that I was going to learn them, and that I was confident I would be able to analyze in the exam and like apply for any little thing. So yeah, that's what I did. I used to like love highlighting things like keywords and like you said, like flashcards, just saying it constantly, because I'm a sort of auditory learner. So the more I say it, the more it's like ingrained in my brain.
Yeah.
And so I think I have friends, so I actually told them to test me on my quotes, or we like test each other on some quotes. And yeah, just like having like a conversation can, just help you remember stuff.
Yeah, that's what I did that as well. Yeah. Harry said I was getting a 4 at the start of year 11. Now I'm looking at getting a 9 predicted for English. So that's really great. I got predicted a low C for English for both of them, and then for language I got 8, and then for literature I got 7. So you can still do it, guys. You can still do it. So everyone get your questions in. Hello, Bald Martin. Raheem says, do you think grade 5 students should do A Levels? Well, I don't think your grades really matter, and if it's like in a subject something you're passionate about, and if you really want to do A Levels, you go for it. And what would you guys say?
Honestly, grades don't always define you. It's more like exams are a lot about memory, if anything, and they're not really about like talent sometimes. So when you get to like A Levels, it's more like selective, and normally there's like a broader range of stuff for you to like actually learn. And sometimes you'll discover your passion along the way, and you're going to be like really driven because you're dedicating your time to like these 3 subjects. And I know a bunch of people who got like 4s and 5s for like English and maths and stuff, and now they're going on to study things like history. Some people want to be lawyers and stuff. It never really stopped them. And so just be passionate, and whatever you get, it will, you just have to move forward.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I was going to say like the exact same thing. If you want to do A Levels, your grade 5 is not going to stop you from doing A Levels. You're going to be able to do it as long as you've got the work ethic and the want to do it. You'll be fine.
Yeah, exactly. So just to reiterate, if you've just joined, this is Emily and Laura, and Emily is doing biology, psychology and geography A Level, and Laura is doing psychology, maths and geography, and I do psychology, drama and RS. So if you have any questions on any of those subjects, please do let us know. And if you've got any questions on anything else, then let us know. Aaliyah says, did you guys go to prom?
No.
Oh. I did. I'm like socially awkward sometimes. I do have like a group of friends, but I just find it, I don't know, sometimes when I have to like be around people, it's just a bit much. I don't really know them. But I was like, prom, it's going to be the last time I see these people, certain people forever, hopefully. But I decided to go, and honestly, I did not regret it. I spent like a lot of time. I even made some like new friends and got to know people a lot better. And it was just like really nice to have as your memory. And even if you go and it turns out you didn't like it, at least you're not gonna think back to it and be like, oh, I wish I could have gone, or maybe I should have, and that.
Yeah. I went and I found it was a very valuable experience. Like, I'm really socially awkward as well, and me and my friend both have really bad anxiety. So I say definitely go, even if you're really scared about it, because I found it really, really great. And if it's not your scene, then fair enough. I mean, I was talking to someone the other day who just went on holiday rather than going to prom. I mean, which would you rather? Yeah, some people are saying my school don't even do a prom, so that's strange. Aaliyah says, I'm taking maths and geography A level 2, so that's interesting. What grade did you guys get in geography GCSE?
A.
Oh, well done, that's great. Yeah, I got advised not to do geography GCSE, so,
I'm actually the only person doing geography at A level at my school.
No way. How does that work?
Initially we started with 3 people, and a couple months ago it was 2 by the end of year 12. Then a couple months ago it was just me. But it was a strange experience because it was like private tutoring, and at times it was a bit uncomfortable because you're just there with the teacher. But it was more like one-on-ones, and at the end of the day it really helped me, and I like geography, so I'm gonna pull through, and it was okay.
Yeah, that's good. I feel like that would be quite cool in a way, because if you get stuck, if you're in a bigger class, then I feel like you're more afraid to say that you don't understand something. So that should be quite good, because the teacher will know if you don't get something.
Yeah, there's no escaping her or anything. So.
Angel says, what's drama A level like? I really enjoy it. I think it's great fun. It's definitely different from GCSE in the respect that we do a lot more. We do like 3 set texts. So instead of just doing 1, and then we have a devised piece where we jig a scene, we modernise a scene from a script. That's what I've done this year, and then next year we have a scripted piece and a piece that we devise. I really recommend doing it though, it's great fun. Aaliyah says, any tips on settling into sixth form or college when you don't know anyone?
It's kind of like everyone's in the same boat in a way.
Yeah.
Because although not necessarily everyone doesn't know anyone, but there's so many more people a lot of the time in sixth form. So there are going to be people who don't know that many people. And in your classes, often you find it, since there's so many people, you don't actually know people in your classes. And you just you just talk to them. Yeah, so just talk to them, and if you've got after school club or something, just go to them. Yeah,
definitely. I'd say there's a lot of people at my school that came from different places. I definitely say if you've got if you don't know anyone, and you've got your group of friends and you see someone that doesn't know anyone, I think it's a good idea to go and speak to them, because you'd like that if that was you. I recommend try and make friends with people that you've got lessons with. That's what I do, because if you're doing drama and there's a few people that are doing drama, I'd say try and get people that you're got similar interests in, and like these guys said, after school clubs are great. Yeah. Navia said, my friend and I are the only people in my class who are taking RS GCSE.
Ooh.
Wow. there were 2 massive classes in my year doing RS GCSE, so yeah.
No, at GCSE, because my school's a faith school, so it's a Roman Catholic, we all had to do RE.
Oh, did
So,
you?
yeah.
We did have an RE GCSE.
Oh.
It wasn't even an option.
Oh, wow. Yeah, no, ours wasn't compulsory.
Even at A level, we had to do something. I don't even remember what it was called, but I had to like do it by year 12, and it was like some RE thing, and it was. Yeah, you had to like complete it, and you had to do like this little booklet because it's a faith school. So
that's weird. Someone here says, I've done geography and I find the 9 markers the hardest. Any advice?
9 marks. Is this for like the new GCSE or like A level?
So, yeah.
I think it's GCSE.
Yeah.
Like, it's silly to just like make plans for questions, because I feel like with 9 markers it can easily like lead on to rambling or just like waffling about nothing. So make sure you know what you want to talk about before you start writing.
Yeah.
I've learned I like keywords, so if it says assess or something like that, I learn to like highlight them. I just said that. And then if any ideas pop into my head, I tend to write them around the question, so that and then I sort of like start planning with these little keywords that I'm writing. And I always make sure to at least define a keyword that's a mention. So for example, if it's like tectonic disaster or like a hazard, you define what hazard is and then you go from there. So then you just kind of like have a organized structure in a way, and you kind of already have a plan. So that way when you're like already doing your paragraphs, it doesn't get all waffle.
Yeah, exactly. This one's specifically for you, Laura. Any tips about ensuring whether you really want to take maths A level? What grades did you get at GCSE, and do you find maths extremely difficult?
At GCSE I got an 8 in maths. But yeah, like I was saying earlier, I failed at the very start of year 12 in my maths test, and so clearly I found it very hard at the start of year 12. However, like, I go to revision sessions after school on Mondays every week, and even when I do find it hard, I just make sure that I'm going over the content at home, because again, with maths it moves very quickly and everything sort of links together. So if you don't understand one part, you're not going to understand the next.
Yeah.
So, but a way to find out if you really want to do A-level maths is going to like taster sessions. Because I know at least my sixth form has a taster session on this month or next month. And they'll run a little session, they'll go through a few questions, or even just looking up like A-level maths on like YouTube or something and seeing what a lesson's like, because I'm pretty sure there's lessons on YouTube. But yeah, like, get a taste for the subject before you take it, because obviously with the new A-levels you can't drop an A-level at the end of first year. I nearly dropped maths at the end of first year. So yeah, just go to taster sessions and make sure you want to do it before you choose it.
Yeah, definitely. Navia said there's only 6 of us in the entire class of year 11. Goodness me, that's crazy. I always get bullied at school. Help me, please. I got bullied at school as well. What advice would you guys give for that?
Tell someone if you haven't, because like it shouldn't be happening all the time. I mean, it shouldn't be happening at all. But if you're saying it's happening all the time, I think you should tell someone.
Definitely, someone you confide in. When you're confident, wouldn't if it's been going on for too long, you definitely have to tell someone.
Yeah.
And I know it's you're going to be scared that they might retaliate or something, but if you go tell someone, it could stop. And I'm sorry that you're experiencing that, but hopefully, it will get over and done with. And I'm sure you're a really nice person.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I got bullied, and the minute I told someone, it sort of stopped for a bit and then it did start again. But you know, it's like it's a very hard thing to deal with. So I'm sorry that you had to go through that. But definitely get a teacher you trust, or your mum, or just someone to talk about, because you can't bottle everything up, because that's not helpful at all. Maisie says, how do you get extra marks in English? Worried about tomorrow. Definitely check your spelling and your grammar, because I know it's only 4 marks, but for every essay is spelling and grammar, so definitely check that.
From what I remember at GCSE, I remember to do some background research on some of the poets, so that I could like link it in and just throw some extra knowledge in there, and I did find that did help in terms of like analysation. Just make sure you use a lot of vocab, and a thing my teacher always told me was try not to go for the quotes that are really obvious and that everyone gravitates to, because the examiner is going to see everyone using that same quote, and it's not going to be that unique, and you're not going to stand away from the crowd. So I'd recommend going for some quotes that not everyone's using, but you know you can analyse.
Yeah.
Because if you pick some random quote that's like completely different and you can't analyse it, there's no point.
Yeah, and with the picking different quotes, if they've just marked an essay that used the exact same quote, they're just going to compare yours to theirs. And if they gave theirs so many marks, they might look at yours and be like, well, I feel like this response is worse, so I'm going to give them less marks, even though it might technically be at the same level as theirs. I mean, I don't know if that's allowed, but I feel like it would happen. And also, it's again with the structure thing. It might not necessarily get you more marks, but you can see where you're getting your marks in terms of like, I've got my EO1, I've got my EO2, whatever.
Definitely. Lucas says, how much do GCSEs really matter in the future? I think they definitely do matter, but I'd say if you're not a particularly academic person and you really want to be like an artist or something, and you're really worried about science, then I wouldn't worry so much, because you know what you want to do. But I do think they matter, and definitely do your best to revise and everything. But yeah, what would you guys say?
They do matter in terms of like allowing you to do certain A Levels.
Yeah.
And I guess some people, some workplaces do ask for your GCSEs. But what's important is to not think about, oh, if I don't get this or I don't get that. Just try and have a positive mentality, so that at the end of the day you give it your best, and that you know that you really tried.
A similar thing is, yes, the very do much. That made no sense. They do matter a lot. However, if you fail, don't be like super disheartened, because there is ways to get these qualifications. You can resit. Like even people in first year A level at my sixth form, I know are like resitting some of their GCSEs that they didn't do so well in. Like I know quite a few people are resitting maths because they didn't get the grade they needed.
Yeah.
And it just means, well, it's not the end of the world if you do it.
Yeah, there's definitely always chance to resit. I know people that are still resitting their maths, so yeah, you've always got a chance. What is your guys' number one revision tip?
Revision tip. I love my highlighter a lot, so I tend to constantly be highlighting, and I wouldn't recommend flashcards, because I find writing them out and putting them onto a little piece of paper doesn't really help me more than anything. But if I had to say the number one thing is probably look at past paper questions and what the examiners say. Therefore, you know what the previous years haven't done as well, and you can familiarise yourself with the wording of that particular exam board.
I think it depends on what point in the year you're in. Like at the start of the year, I like to do more like mind map kind of things. Just have like when I'm just getting my like AO1 and all my knowledge. But then towards the exam period, I'll do a lot more past paper questions or essay plans, so I know how to apply the knowledge. So it really just depends on what type of subject, and then where in the year you are for me.
Yeah, definitely. I think, I really, like you said before, Emily, I think it depends what sort of learner you are. Like you said, you're an auditory learner, so like hearing things, watching videos, maybe like I've said before, like recording things over, that would help you. But it really depends on what type of learner you are. But I think my number one revision tip would be that's quite hard. I think it's a mix of all of that. Like I loved highlighters. I definitely say it depends on the subject. If you're doing maths, definitely practice papers, and science, I lived by those. So I'd definitely say that's good. Heidi says, which A-level biology topic do you find most difficult, Emily?
Oh my, they're all quite difficult in their own way. Okay. I'd probably have to say some of the year 12 stuff towards the end. I think it was biodiversity, just because of the calculations I have to do, and because I'm not exactly a big fan of having to like understand animals and talk about things like hierarchies and species diversity and all that. Personally, I found that quite hard, but recently, for like if I had to talk about the year 13 course, I'd have to say towards the end things like genetics, so genes, so like proto-oncogenes and like inheritance and a bit of that. But if you put in enough effort and you get the basics down, nothing should be too hard. In actuality, the thing I find hardest would probably have to be the math. That's where I always lose marks.
Yeah. Do you Layla says, with A-level biology, what type of maths is involved, and what percentage of the biology course do you think is maths?
Ooh. Okay. There's always going to be maths on that biology paper, and I know there's always at least 4 to 5 questions in each exam. And so sometimes you have to find the diameter of like a potometer in an experiment. So it's like this cylindrical glassware that measures air coming from plants and stuff. So you have to calculate things like diameter, magnification, and you're gonna have to use like a ruler. You have to know your conversion rates as well. So like micrometers and stuff. There's like significant figures, ratio, rates of reaction. It's really sort of like GCSE math with a little spin on it, and there's like some new calculations that you learn along in the specification. And I'd say it'd probably be at least 15 to 20% of your grade in total. There's quite a lot in each paper. And and those little marks, they're all like 2 marks each, they tend to be. And so collecting those marks up is always pretty useful, because 1 mark could be the grade difference.
Yeah, definitely. Well, thank you for joining us, guys. Thank you, Emily, and thank you, Laura. It's been a pleasure speaking to you. Okay, we're going to wrap it up there now. Thank you, everybody. Bye.
Bye.